Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Sports Night. I'm Shelby Granath.
And I'm Ryan Jorgensen. So Shelby, can you believe there's only about 2 months left until we get rid of you?
I know, I can't wait to graduate. Wait, what did you say?
I said there's only about 2 more months till you graduate.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, it's so exciting. There's still so much left to do.
And speaking of stuff to do, let's start the show.
And we relived their three-peat.
And the baseball and softball teams kicked off their seasons over winter break. We look to see how the seasons are shaping up.
And over winter break, the Wartburg men's and women's track teams competed at indoor nationals. Find out just how successful the women were. This is Sports Night.
Welcome to the show. The wrestling team was in Cedar Rapids over the weekend for nationals. It was the last meet with Jim Miller as a coach. My co-host Shelby Granath was there to catch all the action. Shelby?
Thanks, Ryan. It was a very exciting weekend for Coach Miller and the Knights, so let's see how they were able to bring home some new hardware.
Wartburg was heavily favored to win their third straight national championship, and in the first round of competition, they would not disappoint. All 10 Knights won their opening round matches, advancing them to the quarterfinals. Kenny Anderson, Cody Silvestri, and Sam Upaw all won by major decision, and Puna Soriano and Ryan Fank added pins. At the end of round one, Wartburg sat on top of the leaderboard with 12 team points. The second session on Friday night was not as successful for the Knights as it could have been. Gilberto, Camacho, Anderson, and Silvestri all came up with decision wins for the Orange and Black. Tommy Maroka had a very exciting match against number 2 seed from Elmhurst, Ryan Early. After a hard-fought match, Maroka came out on top, 9-8. The first loss for the Knights came from Cole Welter, as he lost 6-1. However, he won his wrestleback match to keep him alive. Landon Williams sent his match into overtime for the second time of the day. Like the earlier session, he was able to come out with a 5-3 decision win. Next up was Dylan Azinger. Although he was ahead for most of the match, Azinger ended up getting pinned in the third period. In his wrestleback match, Azinger almost had it won, but a last-second takedown ended the tournament for Dylan as he lost 10-9. Upaw and Soriano also struggled in the quarterfinals as they both lost 5-2 and 4-0 respectively. Upaw couldn't get much momentum going in his wrestleback match and lost by a final of 5-3. Soriano narrowly fell 6-5 in his match as both him and Upaw were eliminated. And at heavyweight, Fank lost in the quarterfinals 2-1, but he came back to win by injury to fall in his wrestleback match, sending him on to Saturday.
We lost some we shouldn't have, but we won some close ones too. So it's a battle, man, and that's what the tournament's going to be. The national tournament always going to be a battle. We got work to do, man. I'm worried about it. I'm nervous about it. Worried about it. Always am. So it's going to be a grind tomorrow, man. We got to be ready. We got to be ready to go.
Coming into Saturday's sessions, the Knights were still on top with 66 team points. Camacho would fight hard to move on to the finals match. However, it was not meant to be as he fell 2-1. He was able to win his wrestleback match, and at the end of the day, he placed third and received All-American honors for the first time. Anderson was able to advance to the finals with his 5-1 semifinals victory. Maroka hoped to do the same, but he would end up losing 6-3. He won his wrestleback match 6-1, and he never gave up, and the 6-2 decision win gave him third place and All-American honors for the second time. At 149 pounds, Silvestri had a tough semifinals match, but he fought hard and came out on top by a final of 5-3, sending him on to the finals Saturday night. Welter won his first match on Saturday 5-0, but he lost the next one 6-4. Welter fought and fought and fought, and finally, after 6 overtime periods, he got the 5-3 victory and 5th place. He also earned All-American honors for the first time. Williams lost his chance to defend his national title at 165 pounds in the semis with an 8-6 loss. He was able to win his wrestleback match, but he couldn't keep it going in the finals match as he lost 8-3, giving him 4th place and All-American honors for the second time. Fank lost his first match on Saturday by a final of 5-0, sending him to a 7th-8th place match. In that match, he would get the close 1-0 win as he finished in 7th place and earned All-American honors for the second year.
It's a national tournament. It's a dogfight, and that's what we come in expecting, and that's what you saw, every single match. And I think a lot of guys, whether they were expected to win or not expected to win, went out and battled and fought, and that's what I'm proud of is the effort with every guy. That part I'm proud of, the effort.
And finally, it was time for the matches everyone was waiting for, the championships. First up was Anderson against Grant Sutter from UW Whitewater. After his first takedown, it was all Anderson for the rest of the match. Anderson dominated and never let up, winning by a final of 9-1.
I wanted to prove that he shouldn't be on the same stage as me, and that's what they were telling me. So from the start, they were like, get that first takedown, and he'll start to break, so that was the game plan.
Anderson is now a 2-time national champion, and he ends the season undefeated, and he has an overall winning streak of 46.
I was hungrier this year, honestly, because I had 1 loss on my record last year, so I wanted to be undefeated the whole season. And I went up a weight, so I just wanted to adjust well to that. And by the end of the year, everything was just rolling. And I felt like I picked up my work pace this year too.
And the last competitor of the evening for the Orange and Black was Silvestri. He faced Greg Sanders from Concordia, Wisconsin. Silvestri struck first, but Sanders tied it right back up. With Silvestri back in the lead, time was winding down. With only 7 seconds remaining, Sanders got the reversal, putting him ahead for good 6-5. Silvestri finished in 2nd place, and he received All-American honors for the 2nd time. In the end, it was the top-ranked Wartburg team with the most team points. Wartburg won its 3rd straight NCAA National Championship for the first time in program history and 10th overall title. The Knights ended with 103 points, and Elmhurst finished in 2nd with 82. The Wartburg Grapplers gave legendary Coach Miller one last ride to receive his final national championship trophy.
It was a lot of pressure. It was. We wanted to make sure he went out the right way. Anything other than that would have been a disappointment, and extremely happy that it ended that way because that's how it needed to.
It's been a blessing to be at Wartburg. It's been a blessing my whole career actually, but this has topped it off, and I know God put me at Wartburg for a reason, and I'm just really fortunate to be there, and the ride has been just unbelievable.
Even though individually everyone didn't get what they wanted, the Orange and Black team still walked away defending their title with their heads and coach held high. Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Shelby Granath.
When we return from break, we have a national champion to talk about his extraordinary weekend.
So stay tuned. More Sports Night in 2 minutes.
I'm now joined by 133-pound champion Kenny Anderson and co-head coach Eric Keller. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So this was the first time in program history that you were able to three-peat at nationals. How does that feel?
You go first?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's something that we've obviously kind of circled. We want to get done. We've tried in the past, had never got to that milestone, so it feels good. It's special, that's for sure.
It's awesome putting in all that work and just seeing it come together, especially with Miller's last year. I'm just pumped everything worked out.
Okay, now Kenny, going into the 3rd period there in your finals match, you pretty much dominated the whole time. What was going through your mind entering the 3rd period?
Just not to stop, just keep the pressure on him, and I was saying you're going to be a national champ. That's all I kept saying to myself through the whole 3rd period.
Okay. Now, Coach, did anyone surprise you during the tournament this year?
There's always surprises, I guess, at the national tournament, good and bad. It's usually kind of an emotional roller coaster. And, but, success-wise, things that I was excited about, there's a lot of guys that stepped up, and I think even harder a lot of times is what happens on the backside after a guy does have a loss. And I think there's some guys that stepped up big and came through and really performed. So, no, there were a lot of good surprises.
Over the weekend, there was a lot of talk about the pressure to send Coach Miller out on top. Did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I've kind of felt that pressure all year. I haven't admitted that, but there really wasn't any other way to send the guy out. Everything that he's accomplished and everything that he stands for and who he is. Obviously anything but a championship would have been a disappointment. So there was a little bit of pressure there, and I can't speak for our guys what they were feeling. As coaches, I know we tried to do our best to relieve that pressure and try and not put that out there for him. But yeah, I felt a little bit this year.
Do you feel the pressure?
Yeah, we felt it a little bit, but just like Milboy said and Keller said, every practice pretty much we're approaching it like any other tournament. So that's what we did all year.
Okay. Every national championship team is different. What was special about this team?
As a group, they just continue to come together, week after week. It's every group's a little bit unique, and so it's a fun group, that's for sure. And it's a group that we knew had the ability to get it done, and really getting them to come together at the end was kind of what the goal was all year long, because I don't feel like up until the national tournament, we really had ever hit that point. And I still think we left some points out there, and some guys didn't. I know some guys didn't get what they wanted, but it was a fun group for sure.
Okay. Has it hit you that it was Coach Miller's last nationals?
Not really. I think it's probably going to take a little bit of time. I thought about it a little bit Saturday night, but really didn't like going down that path, so I didn't. So, but I'm sure as time sets in, it'll set in.
Yeah, I can't picture the program without him. I feel like he'll still always be around, But I'm just glad he got to end it with a championship.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the baseball team stepped off the plane in Florida, preseason favorites to win the IIAC. Find out if that potential is showing up early on. Don't touch that dial.
Welcome back. The baseball team went to Arizona over winter break to kick off their 2013 campaign with the IIAC title in their sights. With everyone on their roster returning including 8 seniors, SportsKnight's Justin Zacconi visited the squad to see how they were looking to turn chemistry into consistency this season.
After finishing third in the IIAC in 2012, the baseball team hit the field over spring break in Florida. They did the same thing last year, but with one major difference. They weren't conference favorites. For the first time since 2008, they're in a position to win the conference title. The team retained their entire roster from last season, as they had no seniors last year. Over the offseason, pitcher Ryan Doty says he and the other 7 seniors gel better than ever.
Definitely bonding better. Our infield's played now. This will be the 3rd year that we played together, so we kind of know what, how every one of us plays.
Head coach Joel Holst knows the 2 biggest things his team has to bring to the diamond every game is chemistry and consistency.
And I think the chemistry is something that has been strong with this group, and they enjoy being around each other and playing with each other from top to bottom. We're still trying to find the consistency within each individual performer, and that's probably the most important thing.
That experience is also becoming an asset in close games. After losing 8 one-run games last season, Doty is seeing his teammates coming through in the clutch so far.
This year I think we figured out, we didn't need to have those key hits in those situations that we left last year. What the big thing was to see that when we're down and we need to fight back, we need to score those runs in those big situations, that we scored those runs and we actually came out on top.
Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Justin Zacconi.
The squad went to the Metrodome Wednesday night to play the first of 2 doubleheaders this week in Minneapolis against St. Olaf. Wartburg fell in the first game 5-4 in extra innings. Both teams scored in the first frame before the Knights fell behind 3-1 in the 5th. They responded with 2 runs in the bottom of the inning to tie things up. In the 10th, however, the Olies pulled away for the win. In Game 2, St. Olaf scored 3 in the first before Wartburg stormed back with 5 in the 3rd. St. Olaf had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th, but Ryan Doty struck out his 8th batter to seal the win.
The Knights returned to the Metrodome Sunday night to play their second doubleheader of the week against St. Mary's University. Game 1 turned out to be a blowout for the Knights as they jumped ahead in the first game off an RBI triple by Drew Yoder. Wartburg then scored another run in the 3rd and the 4th before tacking 3 more on in the 5th to extend the lead to 6. They eventually got another 2 cross to make it a 7-zip shutout. JUCO transfer Ben Rettenmeyer only let up 3 hits. Game 2 proved to be just as good as the first. Wartburg jumped up 2-0 after 3, but St. Mary's tied it in the top of the 4th. The Orange and Black came storming back with 3 in the bottom of the frame. They held on for this one, 5-4 victory. The Knights will open up conference play next weekend at Co. When SportsKnight returns, we look at the softball team to see how they will fare in the IIAC this season.
And the men's and women's track teams competed at the Indoor Nationals, with the women eyeing another championship. Stay tuned to find out how they did. We now turn to the softball diamond, where the Wartburg Knights look to improve on last season's hopes to make a run at the conference tournament. For more insight into the upcoming season, here's the 2013 Knights softball preview.
This year, the Wartburg softball team is eager to begin its new season and are focused on improvement each and every day.
We're looking to, improve our play and basically to, just continue to do what we do.
In order to improve their play from last season, Lefebvre says the Knights must get back to doing the fundamentals right, especially in the field.
Our motto is defense wins championships, and, I believe, if I remember correctly, we had about 19 errors, at over 12 games, and we need to clean that up. Basically, it's just making sure that they remain focused, field accurately, and make those accurate throws.
Over break, the softball team started their season in Minnesota for 2 games, then traveled to Fort Myers, Florida to conclude their trip, going 3-9 overall.
We came together as a team, we bonded out off the field, and, we played some pretty good softball toward the end of our spring trip. So we do have a couple things that we need to fix going in the conference season here, but, that's what practice is for.
As for conference play, Lefebvre sees 3 teams fighting for the top spot overall, that being Co Central and rival Luther. But Coach also realizes there's a lot more to the game than just winning.
Wartburg softball, our mission statement, is we're committed to developing women of character and transforming student athletes into champions in the classroom, on the field, and in life. And I think once everybody starts to believe in that, we can do a lot of great things.
In her last head coaching job at Bethany Lutheran, Coach Lefebvre took the program to a 3rd-place finish in the conference after just 4 seasons as head coach, the highest conference finish in Viking history.
It's the belief in the process, the belief in the system. We'll turn things around. We've seen, like I mentioned before, a lot of improvement from last year to this year, and even during week 1 of our opening season. So we're excited to see where this program's going.
Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Seth Nutting.
The softball team traveled to Westminster College Saturday for a doubleheader. In Game 1, it was a pitcher's duel, but the Knights pulled out a 1-run in the top of the 1st thanks to a double steal by Abby Stott and Stacy Kaiser, with Kaiser taking home plate. She finished 3 for 4 at the plate. In Game 2, Wartburg fell behind early, allowing a run in the 1st and 5 more in the 4th. Wartburg scored its first run in the 4th off to Katie Wyman bunt. They scored a run in both the 6th and the 7th frames, but it wasn't enough as they split the doubleheader. The Orange and Black will play again next weekend in Mount Vernon against Cornell. In the final period of Sports Night, both track teams were in Naperville, Illinois over break for indoor nationals. Find out if the men could match the women's success. The indoor track and field season came to a close 2 weekends ago at the NCAA Championships in Naperville, Illinois. Both Wartburg teams were ranked coming into the meet, but fell short of expectations.
The Wartburg women were looking to defend their national championship, coming into the meet ranked 2nd behind Wisconsin Oshkosh. But the Knights were unable to live up to their ranking, finishing 4th with 25 points, 2 points behind 3rd place Wisconsin Lacrosse. Wisconsin Oshkosh won the meet with 56 points.
We had a very young group of women there. We had 13 qualifiers, 14 including our alternate, and only 3 had been to an indoor national meet. And so our youth showed, our inexperience at a big national meet showed.
Wartburg had 3 All-Americans in the 60-meter hurdles, including Kamisha Goods, who placed 4th, Tashina McAllister taking 6th, and Sarah Boris, who finished 8th. The 4x400 team earned 8 points for the Knights. Carly Cochran, Kristen Canning, Taylor Moore, and Kendra Kriegel placed 2nd with a time of 3:50.59, just over 2 seconds behind Wisconsin lacrosse. In the field events, Monique Davison earned All-American honors by placing 3rd in the triple jump, while Brittlin Seek placed 10th and Kayla Heeman was 11th in the shot put. The men's track team came into the national meet ranked 12th in the country after having not been ranked the previous week. But like the women, the Knights fell short of their ranking, placing 36th with a total of 5 points.
I have been very excited about our men's team this year. Again, we're a young team, but man, we got some talent. But I'm so excited about their potential, man. I mean, I smile thinking about it because we have some men with a tremendous amount of potential.
Jonas Alusme was the only member of the men's team to score, placing 4th in the high jump. Colt Feltis also advanced to the finals of the shot put, where he placed 11th. Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Nathan Ford.
It's now time to reveal who our Athlete of the Week is. Our Athlete of the Week is senior infielder Stacy Kaiser. The Jessup native was a big factor in the softball team's win over Westminster College over the weekend. She stole home in the top of the first, and that run turned out to be the only one of the game as the Orange and Black won 1-0. Kaiser also led the squad with the bat as she went 3 for 4 on the day. So, Ryan, do you think she gave home back?
And be sure to tune in next Friday for a new Good Morning Waverly, and next Tuesday for the final sports night of the year.
Have a good night.
So, yeah.